Now there is a tiny fix or a tiny improvement I want to apply. If we check our auth page, we can see that in the end, on the validation rules for the password, we expect a minimum length of 5 characters. Now on the backend, on the user routes, you see I expect a minimum length of 6 characters. Now I like 6 better, so we'll actually also tweak this on the front end to be 6 so that this is equal. Just a little thing so that we don't allow access on the front end and we treat something as valid, which we then deem as treat valid on the back end. To prove the problem we would have had if I set this back to 5 on the front end, if I switch to sign up and I create a new user, manual, with test4@test.com, which is an untaken email address. Now here, if I enter a valid password on the front end with 5 characters, I would get an invalid inputs passed error, which of course is a super bad user experience because it seemed valid. Now, if I switch this to 6 here on the front end as well, this changes. Now, if I go to sign up and I try to create manual as a user, I have to add at least 6 characters for this to be valid. And then I can indeed sign up. And surprisingly, manual looks like me. Awesome. So this now works. One other issue we see, however, is of course that after logging in, I can also edit and delete here, even though I'm now logged in with manual. And in general, if I do log in, let's say with test2@test.com, which also is another user, I can also click edit and delete, and these buttons also will work. Now the reason for that simply is that if we check out the placeItem.js component, there I do render these buttons whenever I am logged in. Now actually we can improve this as well. Now we are storing the user ID in the auth context as well. Keep in mind, if we are logging in app.js, I do set my user ID and I do pass that back into auth context. So since we have the user ID stored there on a place item, we can actually refine this and not check whether we're logged in, but instead check whether the user ID is the same ID as the creator of this place. Because when I create my place item, I forward the creator ID here. So on place item here, I actually can say, check if user ID is equal to props creator ID. And only if that's equal, I want to show these buttons. So if I save that and it reloads, when I'm not authenticated, I don't see them. Now, if I log in with the wrong user who did not create these places, I also don't see them. And only if I log in with the correct user here, I do see them. So that is an improvement here, both here on place item as well as the auth page with the authentication to make sure we provide the correct user experience. Oh, and here on the auth page, of course, I also want to tweak my error message here to reflect the new requirement of 6 characters for the password. This is it though. With that, we're having a good state here and we can certainly continue.